Good morning. It is Monday, February 9th. We are 90 days out from May 10th, the DTD2. This week, you are calling your Fs and your Gs, and you are texting your Ys. Calling F and G, texting Y. You probably get to some of these letters and you're thinking, I don't have a whole bunch of Ys in there. I appreciate that. You could make that part of your conversation with the person on the list that you might be calling and just say, hey, who do you know that has a last name that starts with Y? And then just take it from there. And if you don't load up with that, maybe you are using the front initial. Like I have a friend named Janelle, and she spells it with a Y, so that could work. Like, I don't know. You'll figure out a way. All we want you to do is to make sure that you load up every initial in the alphabet with people that you know. Another way to go about it, too, you could always do, this is super old school. They call it the yellow page method. You're like, what are the yellow pages? Well, back when I used to walk uphill both ways to school. So just go through like the business index basically and just think to yourself, if you're starting with letter A, think accountant, appraiser. Like you could do it that way too if you want to just load up with names. And if you don't have people in those professional categories, that could be something you also pursue. So just a thought. Nothing crazy. Don't need to overthink it. But this week, if you're doing the DTD2, which is do the database 2 to keep you out of call bias, make sure you're chatting with all your folks. The process this week is F and G for calls and Y for texts. It is a Monday. As always, it's action-packed. We have Ignite today. You've got session 15, Win the Seller today. That is with the Wendy St. Onge. She'll join us at 9 o'clock. That's at KWikStart.com. The link for that is also in the morning news. Study Hall, as we call it, Fight Club, is available from 9 to 11. You go into that Zoom room, KWFightClub.com, and that is just a safe place where people go to make their calls, to send their texts, to work on their marketing. Maybe you're writing letters. Whatever you're doing to make sure that you are inviting more people into conversation with you. So when the time is right for them to do something transactionally, you will already be involved with them emotionally, right? People aren't going to come back to us because they don't know us. They don't trust us. They don't like us or love us. People want to be in business with people that they know and love and trust, or know and like and trust. People are like, I don't know about love. Well, okay. You might have some people in your life that you adore. And then on the other end of the transaction, you're like, I think I fell out of love a little bit. And sometimes when that happens, that's our fault, right? Because bold law, we're going to talk about bold in a second. Bold law, we teach people how to treat us. And what you'll find as you move through your career, veterans are already nodding because you know what I'm going to say. What you'll find as you move through your career is the people closest to us tend to take the most license with us. Because we find it difficult to sort of kick the dust on that gray line or step over that gray line that we've created between friend and professional. So you'll have some people in your life that it might make sense to send them out as a referral as opposed to helping them directly. I'm just saying, you'll know it when it happens. And you'll be like, oh, he wasn't making that up. I'm not. I promise you. The people closest to you might be people that you refer out just because they can be challenging, fascinating, if you will. All right. So that's happening. 9 o'clock, you can go to Fight Club, do your lead gen. 9 o'clock, you can go to Win the Seller, session 15 of Ignite with the Wendy St. Onge. Don't forget, next Friday morning, we wrap up. It is our last Ignite for this session. Then we'll be back in 2 months with round 2 for 2026. At 1 o'clock, I apologize, at 11 o'clock, all the ones, 2 ones this time. At 11 o'clock, it's Future Cappers Mastermind. So if you are not yet a capper, last week we did proven cappers. Once a capper, always a capper. But if you are moving towards capper status, if you have never capped, join us for your mastermind. That's today at 11 o'clock. You can go to timsoffice.com, timsoffice.com for the Future Capper Mastermind. We're going to talk about what you're working on, what you're having challenges with. We're going to work together to make sure everyone gets the help that they need. Another place for you guys to get together and share best practices. Share what you're struggling with. Ask your questions. Join us at 11 o'clock for that. That's the Future Cappers Mastermind. If you're in that group, you're going to get a text. I'll remind you. Don't worry. At 1 o'clock, Midday Protocol. That's where we talk about what happened in the morning, what happened over the weekend. We use our 3 lead indicators. We're talking about our interactions and conversations. We're talking about our appointments set. And then, of course, we're talking about our contracts signed. If we're tracking how many times we have a conversation with someone, and then we can obviously have an indication about how many times we're bringing up real estate. And honestly, moving through, we can induce all the asks. I think people are like, I don't want to call my people and just randomly bring up real estate. That'll be obvious. I get it. I get it. Or Timmy, I don't want to call my people and be salesy. I don't want you to call your people and be salesy. When I was selling, I didn't want to call and be salesy. So that's why the Ford conversation is so important. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. And I'll be honest, for me, unless I was going in on a letter out of order and saying, hey, I'm going to make recreation calls today to these people because Doug and Jill said that they bought their boat, but now they need the house for the boat. So I can call back now. The snow is still here. But when the snow melts, Jill's still going to be mad at Doug that they bought the boat, but don't have the house. Those kind of conversations. Or maybe some of your friends are skiing right now and they're tired of going up, dragging all their stuff into the lodge, getting 6 kids dressed for skiing. It's delicious, right? Packing all that stuff, like all the things. That's a long, arduous, expensive day that could be solved by maybe them buying their ski place up at Bretton Woods, up at Loon, wherever they ski. Those kind of conversations. So absent that, you know what's going to come up. Family and occupation are always going to come up. Almost every human interaction is like, hey, how's the family? How's Janina? How are the boys? How's your mom? How are your in-laws? And then I reciprocate. And then they ask me about real estate because I've been doing this long enough. They know that I'm in real estate. But if they didn't, they might ask me about my last job, my old career. And that's where you would say, hey, I'm really glad you asked. You know what? I got my license with real estate and I'm with Keller Williams. And this year I want to help 36 families. Who do you know that I should know? Who do you know that I can help? Who do you know that we can serve? Are you having those conversations? Because you talked about work, because it always comes up. And the blessing of what we do is people want to talk about real estate. We're not selling life insurance. And God bless your friend that sells life insurance, but they're not getting crowded at the holiday party. It's like, hey, Jessica, tell me more about life insurance. And they're all holding their scotch like, God, hanging on every word. They're not. They're not. People want to talk about real estate. It's in the news all the time. Everyone is in some form of real estate relationship, whether they're renting, leasing, owning. They want to know all the stuff, and everybody wants to have their person. Because when they're at the party, they want to be like, oh, you gotta talk to Timmy. He's my guy. Helped us buy our first home, our second home, our lake property. And even if you're not the best, and this just in, I wasn't the best. I was a jackass. But I muddled through. But the people that used me, they're going to tell everyone I was the best. Because why would they tell their closest friends they weren't using the best? Oh my God, he was the best. My paperwork was horrible. You know that. You didn't have to guess that. Look at me. Took me longer to type up the contract than it did to get the deal. Never you mind. Are you having enough conversations with your people to put together the business you want a year from now? Think about the business you want a year from now. Are you taking the right actions right now to build the pathway to that? That's the question. That's it. We'll talk about all that during the Midday Protocol. At 1:30, every Monday, ask the brokers what happened over the weekend, questions you didn't get a chance to ask last week, something popped up. The Jason Westcott available for you at kellertv.com for that conversation at 1:30 today. At 2:30, take your business to the next level with our regional tech trainer. Her name is Maggie McDowell. She is fantastic. The link to register for that conversation is right there in the morning news as you scroll down. And then right after that at 3 o'clock, the Tiffany Hampton, phenomenal maps coach. Phenomenal maps coach. And she has rebirthed her 24 and 25 to be 25 and 26. So the question basically is, do you want to do 25 deals in 2026. And she has a pathway for that. Should that be what you want to do? Do you want to do more? She could help you with a pathway for that. 25 seems overwhelming. What if you just started to do the activities that got you on a pathway to 25? Because that's what it boils down to. I mean, if you're looking to have a nutrition and fitness journey, you ease your way in, but you start taking the same actions on day one that you'll take at the end of your first year. You're gonna track your phone calls and your interactions and your conversations, just like you would track your nutrition. So whatever you want a year from now, whatever you want 90 days from now, is going to be born out of today's activities. She'll talk about that. That's today at 3 o'clock, 25 and 26. You can register for that conversation too. That is a pay-to-play situation, although here at 463, Nathan W. Dickey has already paid for your membership. So all you need to do is go join TIFF for that conversation. And if you're in that, cool. If you're just getting started, most likely you're in the pathway to success with Brittany. And this will be something you'll jump into afterwards. Well, when I'm done with the pathway, do I need something afterwards? Look at our top producers. Our top producers are staying in conversation with me. They probably have a MAPS coach. They're probably going to Bold. Why would they do that? Why would you? That seems like a pain. Why would you layer all that accountability? Say that again, slower with me. Layered accountability. It's just like when people get started, they're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna call Kaylee Brackett and I'm gonna see if she wants to do conversations with him every morning. We're gonna do script and role play every morning, conversation blueprints every morning. And then I talked to Kaylee, and Kaylee said, well, I'll do a couple days a week. Here's why that doesn't work. Because a couple days a week turns into maybe one day a week, maybe one day every 2 weeks, because life gets in the way. So when you're going to commit to something, set yourself up to do it every day. That way, if something does come up, it's okay. Thursday got jammed up. There was a storm. The kids had a 2-hour delay. Your spouse got a flat tire. Like whatever comes up, life gets in the way. Completely understood. A lifetime of success doesn't come from one day of activities. Shit, there's a t-shirt. It's all compounding interest. It's that simple. It's not easy because we jam ourselves up. And I know it can be like so. And don't forget, we don't say frustrating, we say fascinating. It can be so fascinating when you look around the room and you're like, oh man, it's me. I'm the one jamming me up. Like, think about this. When something does come up, I haven't used this one in a while, but it's a good one. I love to use analogies because I want you to think about, I want you to visualize things differently and how inane it can be sometimes. If you're driving down the road, you're not speeding, not swerving, not listening to Anthrax, you're not Nathan Dickey. You're legally moving down the roadway. And then all of a sudden, boom. And you're like, oh, something's definitely up. Something's gone sideways. And you can feel the boom, 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 boom. And you pull over and you get out. And your front passenger tire is flat. You hit something. Would you then open your trunk, grab a screwdriver, and jam the other 3 tires flat? And you're thinking to yourself, well, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? I'd get the front one fixed. Okay. Yet we self-sabotage all the time. It'll be Tuesday and you'll have a bad day. You'll be like, I'll get started. You know, I could jump back into the saddle Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the other 3 tires. But you know what? I'll just wait till next Monday. The week is gone. I jam the week up. Or for those of you that don't get started today, next Monday. We'll get them next Monday. I'm in a bad mood. The Pats lost. Why do we do that to ourselves? It's fascinating. You woke up today with the same passion in your heart that you've always had. Think about the reason you got started in this industry. And then simply wire that to what you know you're good at, which is connecting people, connecting with people, listening to them. And be willing to listen to a lot of conversations today that aren't going to be a closing tomorrow. That doesn't happen. People aren't scratch tickets. And if you haven't been in conversation with them for a while, it's going to take time. But if you wait until tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, it's going to take more time. And don't they deserve your help? Isn't that what we all threatened to do when we got our license? Oh, God, I'm going to help so many people. Because I hear it in almost every entry interview when I first sit with you. Timmy, I love people and I love houses. And if I could put people in houses, that'd be swell. I don't know why I do that with like a Southern Belle accent, but I do. And yet, we jam ourselves up. When we could be owning our results instead of explaining them. People that crossed that stage a few weeks ago at Jimmy's Jazz Club owned their results. There was failure in there. Anyone that was successful last year had buckets of failure, and they owned all of it. Enough to get any piece of merit to cross that stage. And for the people that didn't cross the stage, you're on your way. For the people that just landed and chose to be at that event, smartest thing you could do, go get the stink on you. Go be in the room with other people that are doing the next right thing. Because the easy out is, why would I go to that? Why would I go to the awards gala? I don't have something waiting for me. You won't with that attitude. That sucks. The people that are in that room, the people that are waking up today to get back to work. And there's not a piece of me that wants this to be a job for you, but there's a moment where it is, when the lights are off and nobody's watching and your head is down and your heart is up and you're doing the next right thing before lunch so you can have appointments and contracts and closings after lunch. That compounding interest could start today for a deal that's 3 years out. You're not going to earn somebody's trust with one phone call. You're not going to earn your friend's real estate trust with one phone call. You're just not. There's no math I can attach to this, but it horrified me when I heard it. And at this point, it's probably 2 or 3 years old. It was a few years ago I heard somebody saying, I don't know if this was at Mega or Family. I know it was in a coaching breakout session. At the end of these events, you go to your production masterminds, and we go to our staff masterminds, and I get to be in a room with coaches from all over the country. And I wish I remembered who said it. And I'm sure it wasn't theirs. And I'm not trying to discredit anybody. Well, I can't because I don't have their name. The reason agents, when they're getting started, I'm talking to you, the reason agents, when they're getting started, won't necessarily tell everyone that they're in real estate, their greatest fear is the next time they see that person, they won't be. The reason an agent getting into the industry is fearful of telling others that they're in the industry the next time they'll see that person, they won't be. So it's basically, well, I don't want to tell Jill I'm in real estate because what if by the next time I see her, I'm not in real estate? That would be embarrassing. No, that thought process is embarrassing. And taking the counterintuitive and flipping it, the layered accountability of me telling everyone what I'm doing will hold me to do the next right thing, will keep me involved. And the more people know and how they can help, they will. Think about the people in your life. They want you to do well. And they'd love to be a part of your story. That's the big piece. Are you letting them in? Are you letting them be part of your story? Because I know you're thinking to yourself, no, I got some people. I know they care about me, but I know they'd probably love to see this not go well for me. Well, it's early. It's Monday. I promised I wouldn't swear. So let's use that fuel. And I'm not saying use that to, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. Prove yourself right. What if we did that? You know what you're capable of. You're at a company, Keller Williams, that has all the resources, all of the things. You'll hear me constantly refer to us as the spoiled rich kids of real estate. 4,000%. I'll be sitting in my office and I know because people are like, well, the way your doors, like I know you can see us in the hallway, but we can't see you in here. I can hear you talking though. Well, it's because I'm always talking. And when people are out there and they're having their conversations about what they could be doing or should be doing, and it's too early in the week, don't shit all over yourself. You probably do have people that are like, she won't get it done. He won't get it done. Prove you right. And it's not a monstrous undertaking. It's about stacking the next right thing over and over and over again. I don't think I could put it any more simply than this. We get to do real estate. And what does that look like? It looks like I'm grabbing my phone. I'm going to stay in conversation with the people that I know and love and trust. I'm going to find out who they know that I should know, who they know that I can help, who they know that I can serve. And if it's just you and that feels overwhelming, simply switch the word to we. Who do you know that we can help? Because if you get started and you get into the deep end and you find yourself setting an appointment for a kitchen table in a town you're like, I have no idea what's going on. We'll get you teed up with somebody. You came here for the resources. You came here for the support. You've got 542 teammates, not to mention the entire staff. And for some reason, you've decided to not give it your all. And with all due respect, I know this is ironic coming from me. I mean, zero calluses. This is not hard work. There are challenging circumstances. That's going to come in any industry whatsoever. Like, no matter what you're doing, you'll have challenging circumstances. You get to communicate with the people that you care about to find out who they care about to see if you can help. You get to communicate with the people you care about to find out who they care about to see if you can help. That's pretty friggin' awesome. And then, when it comes together and clients get keys and clients get checks, some of them get keys and checks. At our market center, you're walking away with a gross commission income check around $13,000. Let's just say 12. I love even numbers. Yes, you're paying your Gary money, your international royalty fee. Yes, you're paying your Kaylee money, your company dollar. Yes, you've got some expenses with your business. Yes, you have to talk to Washington. Pleasure. It's still pretty good. And then when you do that about 9 times inside your financial year, you don't have to talk to Gary and Kaylee until you roll. There's that. Start focusing on what you're building. Start focusing on everything you wanted out of this. Start focusing on the next right thing. Start focusing on what went right today. Start creating language around yourself. But no, I'm not ready to do this. I'm growing in this every day. I ask this consistently. Who do we spend the most time with? The answer is us. So if you're marching around with yourself all day and you have a negative internal monologue about what's going on, you're going to feed into that. When your feet hit the ground this morning, and I suppose most of you are up, when you get your day started today, you're going to decide the title of today's chapter. And then you will go and seek out the data points and the information to make that chapter true. Henry Ford said, if you know you're right or you know you're wrong, you're right. And Bold says, what we focus on expands. So focus on positivity, focus on growth, focus on doing the next right thing, focus on helping your fellow person. And most importantly, focus on you. No one's coming to help. The market's not coming to help. The weather's not coming to help. The government's not like nobody's coming to help. We're all here to help. You got to lean in to do that. You got to do your freaking job to do that. Or you can just say the Pats lost and it's cold out. I'll get started tomorrow. Yes, today's phone calls are going to be challenging because people are probably in a bad mood. If some of your friends have a DraftKings account, they might be upset. Never bet on the home team. It's such a bad idea. Never bet on the home team. It's such a bad idea. Anyway. Your conversation today might be the only personal interaction somebody has. And as the great Michael Mayer would say in 7 Levels of Communications, today, somewhere in my city, someone's looking for my help, and it's my job to find them. Go find your person.